Brad and Jen, you can see the damage already here in Lancaster. If you take a look behind me, this is what's left of a barn silo strewn across this field here due to those high winds and rains we experienced earlier. And it's going to be all hands on deck here at the Scioto River as the Franklin County Sheriff's Office dive team is going to be patrolling these waters and making sure people stay safe during red, white, and boom. Officers tell me one of the reasons why it's so hard to catch these criminals is because they make it appear as if they're changing a tire or maybe fixing an oil spill, when really they're stealing right out from underneath you. Well, Audrey, as you mentioned, we are outside the Hampton Inn in Marysville. I just wrapped up speaking with the police chief here in Marysville. He tells me multiple people were found unconscious here. Columbus police say the shooting happened around noon and the victim was an employee at this barbershop that you see right behind me.
Jonathan Jackson was in the courtroom today. He now joins us live with more information. Jonathan?
Jared and Jen, as I'm sure you can imagine, it was a highly emotional day in court. As that verdict was read, George Wagner IV found guilty on all 22 counts. We actually heard gasps, some cries from the Roden family as they heard that verdict being read. And now inside the courtroom as well, we know George Wagner, he had been, found guilty of killing all 8 members of the Roden family in 2016, along with help from his own family. And earlier, representatives and other members of the Roden family just gathered out here outside the court steps a few minutes ago where they shared their thoughts on the trial, one of the longest in Ohio's history. They expressed gratitude to the jury, prosecution, and their community for supporting them during this difficult time and said this verdict has brought them one step closer to peace.
I would like to start by saying I would like to thank the citizens of Pike County. I would like to thank the citizens of the state of Ohio for bearing this burden that should have never happened to this family in Southern Ohio.
What do you make of all this madness?
You said the word.
Madness.
Madness.
As you can imagine, the Rodens extremely grateful today. We even asked them on camera earlier, what are they going to do afterwards? They said they're just going to gather together and be together as they try and support one another through all of this. And again, the jury deliberated for over 6 hours today before they reached this verdict here at Pike County. George Wagner sentencing in this is scheduled for December. Local for you in Waverly, I'm Jonathan Jackson, NBC4. Just this month, Columbus police have already responded to several shootings and felonious assaults here in the Short North, and they're asking pedestrians to keep safety in mind.
Jonathan, you've been talking with managers about what is really kind of a sudden boost in business.
Yeah, it is, Colleen. With the Super Bowl and Valentine's Day happening this week, business and bars I talk with say this first week has felt almost like something of normalcy they haven't experienced in a long time. Jared and Jen, it was just another normal Sunday evening here at the Hilltop Branch Library. That is until somebody suddenly collapsed. That's when one of the librarians here sprang into action, saving that person's life through the use of Narcan. This initiative is 5 simple words. We are here for you. That's what the Columbus Symphony says they're going to be doing for their community with the music of their orchestra. This disease, which is still unknown, by the way, a lot of experts say it could be easily transmissible in birds, and it's why they're asking people to take down their bird baths and bird feeders for the time being. You're taking a look at one of many sidewalks here in Linden that were cleared off by a group of teens who decided on their Saturday to pick up some shovels and snowblowers and help out those here in their community.
We love helping the elderly, man. Just the community in general. Putting a smile on their face, that's all the payment we need for real.
Jeffrey Baker Jr., Silas Peck, and Rayvon Ivory are 3 teenagers from Linden who say they'll do anything for their neighborhood.
We'll do your sidewalk if y'all need it done with the snow, and we do lawn care service too.
The trio are part of an organization called Urban Scouts, which provides Linden's youth with activities and services to help their local community.
It's a good feeling to know that these guys come out, how cold it is, and can apply themselves to help me out.
That's Lloyd Hales, or Pops, as he's called by the kids. For 22 years, he's worked in this city as the owner of Ina's Caribbean Kitchen. But this week's winter storm forced him to close for a few days. And at 72 years old, he simply couldn't do all this work himself.
Everyone said they will call us back. No, never call us back.
Except for these guys.
The day started off rough, but seeing this made me smile.
That's Miguel Tucker. He supervises the Urban Scouts program and is a lifelong resident of Linden, which is why he enjoys helping to raise the youth of his city and inspiring them into giving back.
We're here in Linden, a lot of times you only hear the negative, so seeing some kids around the age range that you see all the negative out here doing positive is refreshing for the community and me as well.
And Hales tells me he not only is grateful to these boys for helping him out, but he says the next time they come on by, They'll get some free meals as well. Local for you in Linden, I'm Jonathan Jackson, NBC4.
NBC4's Jonathan Jackson talked with one of those veterans and his family. Jonathan, they say that dog has brought them so much closer together, right?
That's right, Jared and Jen. And that dog, Oscar, he's only been in their lives for a few months. But Army veteran David Wilson tells me they formed a bond that will last a lifetime.
Let's go.
On this sunny November day, Army veteran David Wilson takes his dog Oscar for a walk out back. But what may seem like an ordinary routine means a whole lot more to Wilson.
When I'm a bit more relaxed with Oscar, it's easier.
Wilson served for 8 years in the Army, with tours in Afghanistan and Africa. And when he came back, started to build a life here with his wife Lauren and their 2 children. But admits that he felt as if something was missing.
Quietness is one of the biggest differences.
And Lauren says she noticed it too.
As he told me, the first 5 nights he was in Afghanistan, they were bombed every night. And so for him, it was just became normal.
Which is why, to help provide him some comfort, she decided to reach out to Veteran Companion Animal Services, which connects veterans with rescue dogs in order to form a long-lasting bonds between both.
So it was really, really cool. Like, the kids were there, everyone was there, all these faces, and he just walked right up to David.
Went through a process of being trained. He's not winning best of show. He's not doing agility things, but he showed up to our door ready to help us.
And Lauren says she noticed the change in her husband almost instantly.
If he's getting stressed, I'm like, hey, why don't you just go out back with Oscar, take Oscar for a walk, and it really, he'll come back and you can just tell he feels better.
And like Wilson, Veteran Companion Animal Services has helped over 50 other veterans in Central Ohio struggling with symptoms of PTSD, which is why he hopes others will reach out and find a furry companion that can help.
Like all relationships, there are going to be challenges, but he's a good dog, and he gives me something to focus on, but he's not a project in a bad way. He's a good thing to focus on, and he's a good dog.